Well, hello, everybody. This is Valerie Shoup reporting from Heritage Institute of Sustainability in Dallas, Texas. And this is Class 7 of 2021, a year in sustainability. Our objectives are to learn about personal sustainability, and we're going to expand on the relationship between sovereignty and sustainability and learn about stepping into your own power and becoming sustainable. We must remember the importance of drinking enough water and eating clean. The other things that we must keep in mind that we should maintain a gratitude journal and share gratitude with others. We must always remember to share a kind word each day with others and with yourself. You should also remember to spend time outside each day and ground. That means spending time with your shoes off in the grass or touching and gardening, getting your hands in the grass and getting dirty so that you become one with the earth. And then, of course, we would like you to remember about planning for you and your family's security. All of these things will help you become a more sovereign, sustainable individual. So today we're going to talk more about sustainability and sovereignty, as they can be thought of as one and the same. When you feel empowered, you enhance your ability to be sustainable. We repeat the basic tenets of sustainability each week as you start feeling yourself and others. As you expand yourself, you can move into the tenets of sustainability. Today, we are focused on health and your sovereignty over your own personal health. As you become empowered and as you become into your own sovereignty, you become more sustainable. So today we're moving into the physiological need of eating healthy, fresh foods. Now, just like with water, the healthier and fresher your foods, the better your health, the better your ability to focus, and the better your ability is to feel, as in feel into yourself, into others, and observe and feel the environment around you. So I'd like you to think about what are the sources of food you have in your home. Now, as with everything, we like to talk about emergency preparedness. While it's always better to eat fresh food, you should ensure at all times in your cabinets you have things like beans, nuts, canned fruits, canned vegetables, cereals, rice, and non-gluten pasta. These foods will sustain you over time in the event that you do not have access to food for whatever the reason, whether it's a weather event, whether the primary cooks are ill in the house and the children need to fend for themselves. These are all things that should be maintained in the cabinet for any emergency. This is your emergency preparedness stock. Now, as we said, it's important to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. So my recommendation is to grow what you can. It is extremely easy to create a raised bed garden with a few pieces of cedar lumber and some dirt. It is extremely easy to grow your own food, and I would highly recommend that you grow whatever you can. Now, if you live in an apartment, it's always good to have like patio tomatoes, you can grow beans in pots, you can grow potatoes in buckets. There's a lot of things you can grow on your porch if you live in an apartment. Important to always have fresh food when you can. Now, one of the most interesting people that I have read about, and also I have visited, is the Edgar Cayce Institute. He passed away in 1945, but he was one of the first mystics and natural healers in our country, and he did a lot of research on health. He believed that the diet should contain at least 80% alkaline forming foods and only 20% acid forming foods. Edgar Cayce said if an alkalinity is maintained in the system, especially with lettuce, carrots, and celery, These in the blood supply will maintain a condition such as to immunize a person. And you must remember, and this isn't what Edgar Cayce said, but this is Dr. Shoup speaking now, that viruses and bacteria cannot live in an alkaline environment. And there has been a lot of research and study on that. So feel free to do your own research. Edgar Cayce said the less active in physical exercise or manual activity you are, the greater should be the alkaline reacting foods taken. Now, why is that? Edgar Cayce believed that activity helped burn the acids, but those who lead a non-active life should not eat sweets and starches, which are all acid-forming foods. And over-acidity is produced by overeating of sweets, especially before sufficient food has been taken at meals. And this was something that Edgar Cayce said. The acidity is produced by taking too much sugar in the system. An abundance of vegetables and fruits, especially citrus fruits, helps to maintain the alkalinity of the system. Lemons are especially a good alkalizer. And this is, Edgar Cayce's known this a long time. And if you notice, a lot of people will pop a little piece of lemon in their water at a restaurant. And this is the reason, to get the alkalinity, alkalize that water. And they also talk about adding a little lemon or lime juice to orange juice. So this page is a reference of the Edgar Cayce diet put out by astrodreamadvisor.com. So this is where I received this information. I actually have spent the weekend in Virginia Beach, and we visited the Edgar Cayce Center. He is an amazing individual, and I would highly recommend that at some point in time, if you can, to visit the Edgar Cayce Center, or at least learn and read about this very intelligent natural healer. Now, if you go to the FDA website, this is one of their food charts, and it is interesting. Nowadays, you can hardly even get a food pyramid off the FDA website. They're focused on so many things, and not your health. The Food and Drug Administration, they're more focused on other things in your health right now. But this is a food chart. But as you note in the FDA, the bottom has a lot of breads and stuff on there, in that I don't personally recommend eating a lot of bread, especially because so many grains today are genetically modified. And you should really focus on this fruit and vegetables of what you eat to keep your body healthy. And of course, we know that you should do daily exercise, get a sufficient amount of sleep. And here, while they recommend coffee and tea, those are really very acidic, and you should avoid them if possible. Now, where do you start? So I've put on here some important shopping tips that I've created. So when you start shopping, you should always start with the fresh produce and fill your basket so it looks like a rainbow. I would recommend picking up vegetables you have never cooked before and find a recipe for them, because that's how I originally started as a vegetarian. I used this company that delivered organic vegetables to me, and they would have recipes in there, and I started eating foods I had not eaten before, and it's amazing what you can find out there. So in regard, if you do buy bread, there are a few brands that don't add preservatives, so find the brand that doesn't add any preservatives, and don't buy any bread with preservatives, but also buy gluten-free when you can. Remember, you are what you eat. And if you're buying stuff that you don't know what all that stuff is on the label, then you shouldn't be eating it. Okay, frozen should be your second choice of vegetables, and canned your last. So from most healthy, of course, is fresh to frozen to canned, that in that order, most to least. So don't be afraid of potatoes or brown rice. It's ridiculous that people believe that they're not healthy because they are. Potatoes have all kinds of vitamins in them, so feel free to eat potatoes and rice, but don't eat them fried. Read the labels. Don't buy anything with high fructose corn syrup. Do not buy any corn products unless they are GMO free, because most of the corn is genetically modified in this country. Don't buy any soy products unless they are GMO free. And then also, sugar has many names: dextrose, sucrose, and maltose. Don't buy products with added sugars. Remember that we as the consumer can change what's on the shelf by our purchasing choices. If it doesn't say pure cane sugar, it's likely made from genetically modified sugar beets. So you want to avoid sugar that is not pure cane sugar. If you can afford organic, buy organic. But I say you can't afford to not buy organic, because the amount people spend on doctors and medicines because they are so unhealthy, all that will go away if you eat good, clean food. Reduce your meat intake. You should not be eating more than 4 to 5 ounces of meat at any meal, and not more servings than about 5 per week. So the USDA did have dietary guidelines, but they're not on there anymore. So I guess the USDA isn't really focused on your health. But also, if you can buy organic meat, because you want the animals to have been harvested in a way that is healthy, and that the animals have not been eating GMO feed, which right now they stuff cows full of GMO corn and other GMO feed. So you really want your food to be organic, and your animals to have been humanely treated, because inhumanely treated animals, also the enzymes their bodies create from stress go into the meat, and the meat is not as healthy. Also, you want to reduce your consumption of cheese, but if you like cheese, and I know so many of us do, buy organic cheese if you must eat it. I personally can't resist a bit of cheese. But you can also buy nutritional yeast, which is a good cheese substitute. There's important cooking tips. There's no reason to add fat or oils to your meals. When a recipe calls for oil, always cut it in half. Sometimes it's not needed at all. And a lot of recipes call for you to caramelize onions in oil. You can caramelize onions oil-free. So for baked goods, substitute applesauce in the recipe for half of the oil. Always cook your rice and pasta in whatever sauce you're going to eat it in, because when you cook it in the sauce, oh my gosh, it makes it taste so much better. When cooking rice, add spices to the water you're cooking the rice in, and then match the rice spices to the main dish spices, but no more than an 8 teaspoon each per cup of rice. So think about the rule of 5 whenever you're cooking. A lot of people say vegetables have no flavor, but my rule for cooking is to add at least 5 spices or flavors into your vegetables. And you'll be amazed when you use the proper herbs how good vegetables really can taste. Now, going back to some of the things Edgar Cayce suggests, and the things he suggests, I've seen multiple people suggest that you should start your day with a glass of hot water with lemon or lime. And he suggests for breakfast either a citrus fruit or cooked dry cereal, lunch, raw vegetable salad or fruit salad, and dinner, steamed vegetables served with fish, poultry, or lamb. So Edgar Cayce often said that at least one raw meal should be taken a day, so that you receive the vitality enzymes of vegetables and fruits in their natural, most healthy state. So here is, this is a modified Edgar Cayce recipe. It has garbanzo beans, celery, pineapple tidbits. I added yellow squash grated, cucumber, and then I used 1 squeezed lime, and this made an excellent, fresh, healthy salad for lunch. In summary, you can control your health with your diet. If you want to be healthy, then look at what you're putting into your body. Also, always have an emergency supply of food on hand. Eat and grow plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, and enjoy planning for your own personal food security. Feel free to contact me at info@heritageios.com. I am here to help you become more sustainable, more healthy, and become a happier person. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have a fantastic week.